certified most accurate weather start now.
Today on First at 4, the polls are open across the state for the 2026 primaries. We'll have the latest from around the East coming up. And good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here on First at 4. I'm Dave Jordan. Hannah Hunter has the day off. And we do start with breaking news first alert this afternoon. 26 vape shops were raided and 8 homes searched after a months-long investigation into the illegal sale of marijuana and illegal THC products in Kinston. This is video of one of the homes that was raided. It is at the intersection of Fairfax Road and Hodges Road. Major Brandon Turner with Kinston Police says that officers have been conducting raids on the stores as well as at the home of the owner of several of those shops. Police had also been at another home 3 doors down earlier in the morning on Fairfax Road. This comes after numerous citizen complaints about the illegal sale of marijuana and THC products, including allegations of sales to those underage. Well, today is Election Day across North Carolina for the 2026 primary season, with several contested primary races to see who will be on the ballot in November's general election. Key races in Pitt County include the sheriff's race between incumbent Paula Dance and Richie Williams, the 3rd Congressional District Democratic primary between Allison Jaslow and Raymond Smith is another key race. The winner will go on to face incumbent Republican Representative Greg Murphy and Libertarian Daniel Cavender. Another big race now taking place outside of Pitt County is the redrawn 1st Congressional District for the Republican primary. Voters will be voting from among 5 Republican candidates, and the winner of that race will take on incumbent Democrat Representative Don Davis and Libertarian Tom Bailey. Voters at the Pitt County polls say that casting your ballot is a chance to have say in county and state government.
So whether that's primary voting or the big November election day, I believe it's important to vote at any chance that you can.
And you have until 7:30 to vote. You can find more information on your designated precinct and available polling places on our website. There are also several contested primaries across Onslow, Duplin, and Jones counties being decided today. And that's where Max Alfonso is. He's been talking to voters today and has more. Max?
Dave, there's been a constant theme, and that's people here in Onslow County are excited to express their right to vote. In Onslow County, the Board of Commissioners is at the forefront of the ballot. 3 seats available and 6 Republican candidates with no Democrats. On the Onslow County School Board, 3 seats are also available with 6 people running for the seats on the board. Bobby Hudspeth is from Onslow County and feels like showing up to the polls is something that people should take the time to do.
As an American citizen, it's part of my responsibility. If I don't vote, I don't have any right to complain.
In Jones and Duplin counties, the sheriff races highlight the ballot, with both sheriffs running for re-election. In talking to people today, when I was asking what's at the forefront of their mind as we hit Election Day, they're talking most about the Senate race. That is what people are most concerned about when I was talking to them today off camera. But for now, reporting in Jacksonville, Max Alfonso, WITN News.
All right, thanks, Max. And as North Carolinians continue to cast their ballots, some experts are keeping an eye on a few races today as well. Lucy Ritchie is live in the studio now after speaking with 2 East Carolina University political science professors on what we could see. Lucy?
Dave, the 2 men I spoke with today say the primaries for the U.S. Senate candidates seems fairly straightforward, while the race for the 1st Congressional District may have some surprises. Voters are out in full force, making their voices heard as they vote on some key primary races. One major race is for U.S. Senate, with some political science experts saying it's likely the 2 frontrunners will face off in November.
Expect ultimately that it will be a 2-man race in the general election between Cooper and Whatley.
On the Republican side, I don't think there'll be any huge surprises. Michael Whatley is likely to emerge as the Republican nominee for U.S. Senate. And on the Democratic side, former Governor Roy Cooper is the heavy favorite to be the Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate.
East Carolina University political science professors Dr. Peter Francia and Dr. Brad Lockerbie both say the midterms in November will be the real challenge for Senate hopefuls Roy Cooper and Michael Whatley.
I still think it's going to be a close race on the Senate side, simply because of the partisan dynamics.
While the Senate primaries seem to be a done deal, Francia and Lockerbie say the Republican primary for the newly redrawn 1st District could go many different ways. With 5 candidates on the ballot, both men aren't sure what election night's results could be.
Buckhout's running again here in 2026. She's the favorite to win the Republican primary. But some of the polling that's out there, Emerson, for example, has a poll that shows Asa Buck very, very close, running a very competitive campaign. And he's a name to keep an eye out for.
The race for the 1st District this fall will be one to keep an eye on.
And that will be one of the most watched U.S. House races in the entire country.
Both Francia and Lockerbie called North Carolina a purple state and say that the U.S. Senate race this fall could be close. Dave?
All right, thanks, Lucy. And WITN is your source for the latest election results and news on today's key races. Just head to WITN.com and click on the Elections tab at the top of the page. There you will find the most up-to-date information on races from around the East, along with key statewide primaries. And our team will be updating results throughout the night tonight. And you can also get updates tonight wherever you are and however you would like via the WITN Plus First Alert live stream with Charlie Ironmonger. It starts when polls close at 7:30 this evening. They'll have stories from reporters covering major races in Eastern Carolina and share updates on poll results throughout the night, leading into our 11 p.m. newscast, where we will share the latest numbers. And onto our forecast. Now, a little warmer today than yesterday as we get set for some real spring-like weather the rest of the week. Chief Meteorologist Zach Holder has details now. Zach?
Yeah, this is just the start. Sunshine came out today and we are back into some comfortable weather. Maybe not for everybody. There were still some cooler spots today because of cloud cover, and that's probably still going to be the case over the next few days, and especially when we factor in the difference between inland areas and coastal temperatures, where those will stay a little bit lower. But right now, even some of our coastal areas able to get into the 60s. We're at 66 in Beaufort, but showing 53 in Oriental, some 70s from Stumpy Point out towards Swan Quarter, but 52 in Roanoke Rapids. So pretty mixed bag of temperatures across most of the area. Some cooler than where we had our highs and some a little bit warmer. Tonight we don't cool off much. Upper 40s about as cold as it's going to get, and that's going to push us into the 70s for our Wednesday, with 60s and maybe still an isolated 50-degree temperature down around the Sounds and the Outer Banks. We'll get closer to 80 heading into Thursday as we just continue to warm up. Not as much activity on radar, and most of it is offshore. So we're kind of done with the rain chances for the next few days. There may be some mist and some of the morning fog we have over the next few mornings, but that's about it. As we warm up, it's not until Sunday that we start to see the chance of rain or even some storms try to get back into the forecast. We'll have more on that coming up here in just a bit.
Yeah, really just a nice stretch of weather ahead here this week into the weekend.
Yeah, not much to complain about.
All right, thanks, Zach. Israel said it is conducting simultaneous strikes in Tehran and Beirut as the coordinated U.S. bombardment of Iran continues. Meanwhile, as Iran strikes U.S. targets and U.S. allies in the Middle East, the U.S. has closed its embassies in Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, and Kuwait. Today, top administration officials will brief Congress on Iran. Lee Waldman brings us the latest.
Smoke seen rising from the U.S. consulate in Dubai after being struck by a suspected Iranian drone, according to a source in the region. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump praised the progress of the U.S. military operation in Iran.
They have no Navy, it's been knocked out. They have no Air Force, it's been knocked out.
Hundreds of people have been killed in recent days after the U.S. and Israel launched a fierce bombing campaign on Iran. At least 6 U.S. service members based in Kuwait have died. Senate Armed Services Chairman Roger Wicker says he expects senators to discuss a potential supplemental defense funding bill during a briefing with top Trump administration officials this afternoon.
I commend the administration and the leadership in the department for coming down strong in favor of this quantum leap in national defense.
The briefing comes as questions continue to be raised by lawmakers on shifting explanations for the strikes.
I am troubled by the lack of a rationale. That's why you bring something like this to Congress.
An Iranian media outlet also reporting today that the son of the former supreme leader, a figure long seen as a potential successor, is alive.
The worst case would be we do this and then somebody takes over who's as bad as the previous person, right? You go through this and then in 5 years you realize you put somebody in who was no better.
I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
Deputies are investigating what they are calling a suspicious death in Edgecombe County. The Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office says that deputies, EMS, and fire personnel are at the scene in the Canida area off of Highway 64 alternate. No other details are available. We'll update the story as we learn more. And still ahead, some Americans are seeing a bigger refund on their federal taxes this year. We'll have the reasons for that increase coming up after the break. But first, we'll check back in with